So day one of the homestead build, just pulled up here. The machine got dropped off this afternoon. We closed at 3 o'clock today. Yeah, look at that, 6 o'clock, we're out here working. First thing is going to be, this is county road behind the machine here. I got to get a path in, probably about 100 feet into the woods there, and then our acre is right off to the left hand side here. So we'll see what I can do with this thing. Hopefully not too much damage, but yeah, I mean, the trees, they're not huge, but they're not little either. So hopefully this 16,000 pound excavator can push these and move them around. In fact, there's a big one laying right across the county road right behind it, so that'll be the first thing to tackle. So wish me luck. All right, so this is the beginning of the second after hours work session here on our lot on Sunnydale. Yesterday I got about 3 hours of work in, and I was able to open up the county road here. It's about 150 feet or so. Really the big thing was kind of scraping some of the weeds out so you can actually walk back here. This big pine tree, yeah, that's probably 16-inch, 12 to 16-inch tree, had fallen across the road, had a bunch of vines and crap on it, so I cut it up into a couple logs, just pushed it out of the way. The other half is still laying there on somebody else's land, so I'm not going to bother with it too much. The thing that was killing me yesterday, I don't know how well you can see them, but these are mimosa trees. And you can tell them because they've got pink flowers on them. At least some of them do. They're real easy to spot because they almost, they've got leaves on them like a mesquite tree or almost like a fern. I don't think they're native, but they are all over the place back here. And they're kind of like a big weed. You know, a lot different from the hardwoods that you typically find here in southern in the southern woods. I mean, heck, there's a couple more of them, and they just yeah, they grow like a weed, and they can get big, but they get tall, like if you let a dandelion just grow, they just get tall and skinny. I mean, they push over easy enough, and they don't have a big root ball like an oak tree or something, or a maple or hickory, so that's good. But there's just so damn many of them. It's ridiculous. So I came down here, like I said, this is the county road portion here. I did get a couple of stakes in the ground for a rough survey. You know, coming across here, we got a blue stake here, second stake here, and a third stake up there. That's basically my property line. And that stake right there should be the start of the property. So that's actually the edge of the right-of-way. So from there, I go 200 feet back, and then about 240 feet that way. So it's a little over an acre. What I'm trying to do is just get this area cleared up so people can get in here. First thing I need to do, I need to get a real survey done. This was just kind of done using some tools that I have available, but I'm far from a licensed surveyor. But basically in 3 hours, I mean, I had to push a tree out of the way and scrape the ground a little bit there. But I mean, the woods, from where I'm standing, it looked like this. As you can see, I mean, there's just tree after tree. So the majority of my time last night was just spent pushing stuff over, digging up root balls. There's still a lot of organics. I kind of just drug the blade a little bit just to kind of knock some of the weeds down so I don't find any damn snakes when I'm walking through here. And you can bet your butt there are a bunch of snakes up in here. But I mean, this is what I'm dealing with. It's pretty much jungle. I debated getting a forestry mulcher in here first to clear things out. I've been told that those guys, that they can clear an acre in a day. Not totally clear cut. I mean, certainly a big tree like that That thing's probably 36 inches. This guy right here. And you can see the canopy's fairly impressive on that. You know, forestry mulcher's not going to tackle something like that. But they could come in and they could knock down a bunch of these. Hell, I don't even know what those almost look like poplars, but I could be wrong. You know, I'll start pushing some of these over with the excavator. But really what I'm thinking, because when I knock these down, obviously I'm just kind of pushing them off to the side. I'm probably still going to have to get a mulcher in here or contact an actual clearing company to come and start grabbing this stuff and just run it through either a tub grinder or, you know, just something that can just grab all this crap, because there is a lot here. I don't intend to clear the whole acre. I tend to just get back here. I'm kind of walking up. As far as I can tell, this is going to be the high point on the property from about this area where I stopped last night back to the county road down there. It looks like it drops probably about maybe 8 feet. What I'm thinking is, I've got at the edge of the property over there is a creek, so this all slopes down. Well, it's more like a swale. I don't even know if it's wet year round, but the lot slopes towards that direction. So I'm going to measure off my back, find my back property point here, and then I'm going to start going that way towards the creek. And really what I need to do is, I know I got to, you know, I'm going to be on septic, so I obviously want to use the slope of the land, build on the high point, flow the septic downward. State law obviously requires I've got to be so many feet away from that stream or that swale down there. But really, once I get cleared out, I'm just going to kind of dig some holes here and there, just one, to make sure that I'm not sitting on a bunch of rock, which we're in the upstate. There's rock everywhere, and there's really no rhyme or reason as to where it is or isn't. So hopefully I don't hit too much of that up here, because we're planning a 4-bedroom house, which, just a general rule of thumb, here in South Carolina, every bedroom requires about 100 foot of drain field, and that's typical in our soils. If you've got different soils wherever you're at, it could be a totally different scenario, but we have a lot of clay here. I don't think I'm going to hit a high water table just because I'm up a little bit up here. My fear is I'm going to hit rock, and obviously rock doesn't perk very well, so that could cause me to have to get real creative. Hopefully I don't have to go that route. But what I want to find is, when I look at aerial imagery, I've walked this property before, but I haven't gone back all the way down to the creek. So this is a fairly big tree. This is probably the second biggest tree on the property in terms of trunk diameter. I've got some taller ones back here that I've got to figure out if they're on my property or not. But when I look at the aerial imagery, back that way, and I'll probably find it tonight when I cut back that way, I think there's an even bigger tree than this guy, which is a little bit scary because that is a big tree. So we'll see. I'll just kind of keep taking photos and quick videos like this, just so you guys kind of see the process. But yeah, it's modern day pioneering. You know, there's a lot to be said about coming into a jungle and kind of taking a do-it-yourself approach to this. Obviously, if I hired somebody to clear this, they'd bring in just some real big equipment and they'd get this done in a day or two. But I got that 16,000 pound cat mini for, you know, a song and a dance to use for the next couple of days. So instead of hiring somebody and paying thousands of dollars up front, only to maybe find out that this site might not be the best site to build on, I can just come out here for $1,000 or so and dig around and you know, really kind of figure out if we're going to fully commit to this. Because I mean, other than we've bought it obviously, but we don't really have a ton of money in it just yet. And I don't know if y'all can see that, maybe the sun's washing out, but you see all the pink flowers? That's all those stupid ass mimosas. But yeah, really what I'd like to do is I'd like to keep some of these trees in here. You know, it's kind of the bummer when you buy a lot in a subdivision, they just go in and they just knock everything down. And you know, that's not what I want. I kind of want some shade. We live in a neighborhood right now that's got a bunch of mature trees on it because it was built in the 50s, and we like that. And I'd kind of like to keep it that way. Hopefully, maybe in the future, I'll be able to buy this lot next to me, which is about 1/3 of an acre. And if I do, I have no intention to do anything with it other than just leave it wooded in case neighbors, you know, who knows what they might put in on the other lots next to us. And then there's another lot right where I came in on the county road that is side by side to ours for 200 feet or so. We'd like to get that one too if we can, and get our property to almost, you know, not quite 2 acres, which would be awesome. So I'm gonna get to work. All right, so I thought I had walked most of this property, but it was so thick, I didn't come far enough back. So we've got some interesting things going on here. The machine, you can see the lights over there. I've come about 80 foot in towards the property from the first cut, and right where I'm stopped, the grade changes. Not a bunch, but probably a couple of feet. This whole area up here could be graded and capped off. So that gives me the full 200 feet depth and about 80 foot this way. So I think that is about 1/3 of an acre to where the machine is. Now if I come down to like right here, I'm probably another 80 feet in. So that's 2/3 of an acre. But check this out. I know it's getting dark and it's hard to see. When we looked at the aerial imagery, we could see 2 massive trees. Well, I say 2. I thought it was 1. Look at these things. This is the first time I'm putting my eyeballs on them. And I am a sucker for big trees. It's hard to tell from the footage, I know, I'm sorry, but that thing is probably every bit of 5 foot in diameter at the base. And look at how healthy it is. I mean, it has got a full canopy on it. And I can tell because there is barely any undergrowth here. I mean, I've got some little saplings, 1-inch saplings around here, but that thing is blocking out so much light. Yeah, that one's not coming out. But look at this. We got its brother, sister. And that thing is every bit of probably 40 to 48 inches in diameter. And it is just as beautiful. Look at that thing. Holy crap. Like, I love it. I mean, I can't even describe how beautiful that thing is. It's getting dark, and the leaves are so high, I can't see up to see exactly what it is. I don't know, and it's hard to tell from the trunk either, but they look healthy. I'm probably not going to come down here and do anything. Plus, by the time we get down to here, the creek's right there. That's our property line, so that's good. At least I put eyeballs on that. But I'm also seeing water coming out right here, which tells me, which is fine because the creek's so far down. That's probably 6-7 feet down from where I'm standing. And if I hold the camera level, the machine is probably, the bottom of it's probably 10-12 feet above my head. or above where I'm standing. So the good news is I'll probably have to put the septic system somewhere out here, or maybe even towards the front yard, which is less than ideal, but whatever. But golly. Oh, wow. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Totally excited. All right, so we're on day number 3, which will probably be my first full working day out here. I've worked the last 2 evenings with this machine, about 3 hours a night. Made some pretty good progress. Kind of today I just want to continue clearing back in there, but one thing that we can see here when developing land is utilities end here. So we've got, even though it says buried fiber, I doubt there's fiber here. It's probably just phone line. Power, and you can see kind of where the edge of the right-of-way is, right about here. If you kind of come through. Power company likes to set their transformers on private property. They don't like to be in the right-of-way. So I came out here and marked this yesterday with some degree of accuracy. The road edge, the edge of the road is about right here. This tree and this tree at the end are right in that area where the power company would love to run their power to our place. But here's the thing. Since I've got this machine out here, I'd love to help them out and just push that tree out of the way. But look at that shit. I guarantee some of that is poison ivy, and I don't even want to touch that. And you can see kind of where the white paint is here. They've got enough room that they'll get in front of that tree, so I am not going to touch that damn thing. Yeah, that sucks. And then as luck would have it, the other one, you can kind of see the white marks here, that's edge of the road right away. And again, this isn't my property, but I've been in touch with the lady that owns it. She's like, I don't care, do what you got to do to get power in, because obviously it's gonna get her site power as well. So we get down here, and this is the one that I'm actually kind of worried about, because you see the white mark here, you see the blue stake here. There's not a whole lot of room between those 2 marks and where that tree starts to get power, just on the back side. And wouldn't you know it, that damn thing has ivy growing on it as well. And what I've experienced, and I've, like most things in my life, I've learned it the hard way, is even if you don't get into the green leaves, you see the little windy brown vine right there. If that's poison ivy and you even just touch that, you can get the oils on you that cause you to break out. And I am stupid allergic to poison ivy. It sucks. And that's not a little tree. I mean, it's not big at the base, but I'm gonna try to push that over. I don't know how successful I'm gonna be, but I'm certainly not getting in there with my chainsaw and cutting it, because then I'll definitely have poison ivy. But where are we at today? So day 1, first 3 hours, got down in here and went all the way back, not quite 200 feet. Last night I turned and went that way. It took me a little while to make that turn because there was a bunch of trees I had to dig up and just move around. So I only made it, I don't know, about 50 feet maybe in. And what I found is when I got back up there, the terrain, that's kind of a high point. You can see it's, it goes up from here. But as I go that way, the land kind of does, instead of being a nice gradual slope like that, it steps. And if I had a ton more experience on that machine, I would just drive right off those steps and use the bucket to balance the machine. But I'm going to be a little bit smarter or dumber, I don't know, and cut in this way, because this needs to be cleared anyway. I'm going to go in that way and then come around it from the backside so I can kind of dig at those ledges and make it so that I can, you know, it'll look like this, where I can just drive the machine in and up and down it and not have to worry about doing something stupid. But yeah, hopefully today I kind of get at least one complete loop around here so that we can just kind of get to all areas of the site fairly easily. I do not intend to use that machine to clear cut everything. I just want to get in there so I can get some access, kind of get a lay of the land. The terrain does more than I thought it was. I thought this site was a little bit more level than it is. And as you can imagine, it's kind of hard to tell when I was walking in and it looked like this. You really don't get a sense of things until you start actually knocking trees down. So anyway, let's get after it. So pro tip, when you're out in the woods, I don't know if you can see it, but I went to push this tree over and I had to cut it with the saw a little bit. Angry ass in-ground bees, holy hells. Yeah, there's several hundred, if not 1,000 of them flying around that stump. Little bastards got me at least twice. Like I said, I have to learn things the hard way. Golly. Boy, I'm really playing with dynamite today. So I did all this clearing over here, not one bee. Today, my second in-ground hive, and I was just standing there. I cut those couple of pieces real quick, and they are going bonkers now. It's gonna be a long day.